So Saturn's in Capricorn January 3rd. Saturn's squaring the Sun. So that's really all of December, January. And then by the end of January, by mid-January, Uranus is squaring his Jupiter, so it's changing his outlook a little bit. That's a bit of a change of outlook. And then, but Mars is conjuncting the Sun. Conjuncting Venus is Mars and his Sun. It's active. So January is still pushing and very active. It's in fighting mode, but it's a different twist because of the Uranus changing his understanding. Then there's normal stuff going on. Mars conjunct the Moon. Nothing really stands. Next thing that stands out, see, because he has his Mars, Venus, and the Sun. Every 6 months, when Mars conjuncts, squares, or oppose, goes into a cardinal sign, it hits his cardinal stellium, and it's going to be conjunct, really powerful, square, really stressful, oppose, really disruptive. And so that's in May. That's coming up a couple of months or so. His energy level, which is where his pride and his self-esteem is from, is going to be challenged by May. Difficult, harsh. And then by October, Mars opposes the Sun. That's his low energy period in 2 years. Then Jupiter squares his Mercury and Venus and Mars. Then Jupiter squares, goes into Capricorn, squares all of his stuff. He's having to adjust his understanding, adjust his outlook. And then to 2020 in July, the Mars is conjuncting all these planets again. All this is in Aries. So every 2 years, he's going to get this surge of energy. Okay, so this is what we see. So we don't have this to any events right now or to anything. So this is the puzzle what we're working with. Usually, you're going to get your sense of where it is by the Saturn cycle and the 8-year graph. And we have a very simplified Saturn cycle, and we don't have any aspects to angles. So we know there's other things. There might be things going here. There are activities that are plus could be hitting the ascendant or the midheaven, and and even the moon aspect, because Uranus, we're looking to the degree. If he's born earlier in the morning, that Uranus shocking the moon could be now. If he's born later in the day, it would be further on. So there's a 7-degree orb. That's a 1-degree orb that's in, but the moon's within 7 degrees either way. And you have to, anything hitting the moon, you've got to give a fuzz period. It could be anywhere in here, anywhere in this 8-year graph almost, that there was a big shock or change to his lifestyle, to his family. But in terms of planning, that's hardly they're going to be a shift, a move, a change coming up. You got some adjustment. You know what the adjustment is. You have to deal. Put your time in. You have to deal with it. You have to work with it. And then inside of that, once you got that settled, you could sit and work with it. So it's not a lot, but it's enough when the person's working with you to try and work with it, to try and understand what I'm going to do through this. But it will require the feedback from the other person to fill in the gaps a lot more. Now, what I want to get is the bios. We're going to read the bios. This is a fairly famous person right now. Oops, sorry, I got my Microsoft Word is messing up. So I have to do it from open source text. Okay. And we'll pull up this bio. Okay. There's 2 bios. We're going to go through them, but this is a chart of a man named, oh, what happened here? Lost all this stuff. Okay, great. This is a chart of Paul Manafort, one of Trump's associates, who's just been arrested for being involved with some of the scandals and some of the things around Donald Trump. So, okay, we got that. I just want to pull this chart up again. That one, this one. Yep, and put that there. And I want to get up the, the 8-year graph. Put it up here. I don't want to get the Saturn graph up, so I have it here. Okay, make it a bit bigger. There's the Saturn graph. Okay, and then Okay, we'll bring up the 2-year. I actually went back. When I saw that empty period, I went back and I looked over the last 8 years for the 2-year graph to see Mars and Jupiter and what it was doing, because I realized his Mars ruling everything was probably far more telling within this period. It's not like nothing is going to happen to this guy with all this Aries. Okay, but this man is, I don't know a lot about him. I just took a few bios from the web. I know that he's been arrested for lying to the commission that's investigating Trump and investigating the fish, and he made an agreement with them to tell the truth, and then even then, after he made the agreement to tell the truth and give his story, he lied again, and he got caught with both of these lies. And now he's been sentenced and convicted, and now the sentencing is going to come over this next few months. What his punishment is? This is the Saturn being arrested when Saturn was squaring his sun. But here's the story. We'll try and look into his natal chart. We're just going to read through. Heir to the throne of a construction empire. So his father owned a construction empire. Okay, busy out there. Who knows if it was swashbuckling, globe-trotting entrepreneurship, luring the world's best-paying clients. In this case, he set up Russian empires and dictators, and the Russian-based Ukrainian presidents he was really supporting for them. That's what his sort of recent claim to fame is. He got a law degree in Georgetown, so 73. Okay, let's pull this over here. I'll get the Saturn up here so we can see it. 73. 67, Saturn's conjuncting us on 68, so he's in school. By 71, by 73, it's still on, he's going from the conjunction, hasn't got towards the opposition, he gets his law degree. Okay, so we'll pull this over here. Then joined in 73, he gets he joins the Ford administration in the Department of the Presidential Personnel. He started being a problem solver, a promotional person for the Ford administration. In 78, he gets married. 78 was Saturn return. He gets married. In that marriage, he has 2 daughters. In 1980, when 81, Saturn opposes itself. Saturn opposes the sun. So that's really difficult time. So he gets married, has the 2 daughters, then Saturn's opposing the sun. He started in 80, just before the opposition, he started a lobbying firm. Very powerful one. It was called Jonas Samvey. No, that was clients. Black, Manafort, and Stone and Kelly. So it became his lucrative clients were Joseph Savimbi, leader of UNITA, the pro-Western rebel army fighting the communist government in Angola. Manafort helped make Savimbi a heroic figure among conservative Washington think tanks and aided him in securing hundreds of millions of dollars in aid from the Reagan and Bush administrations. Money that never did bring victory. But he was able to go into these dangerous other countries where no one else would go and get the people in power there and able to manipulate hundreds of millions of dollars from America. He's connected to all the conservative things to get that money to go to support these other countries and these rulers in other countries. He played key roles in both successful Reagan campaigns as well as George H.W. Bush's victory in '88. He was involved with making them the heroes. You almost get a sense he knows how to manage mischief, but how to get the fundraising, how to get things going. In 95, where's 95? 95, Saturn's opposing Saturn, just finished, and it's coming up towards the conjunction to the sun. He was paid $90,000 by a Lebanese-born arms merchant to advise the French financier official Edouard Boulador in what became an unsuccessful bid for the presidency of France. An investigation revealed that those funds were illegally funneled from the kickbacks and commissions collected from the sale of French submarines to Pakistan. What became known as the Karachi affair became an enormous scandal in France. damaging the reputations of politicians involved, though they all escaped prosecution. He reached his U.S. political pinnacle in 1996. 1996 is just before the conjunction to his son, when he ran the convention that nominated Bob Dole. So he's this kingmaker. He sets up people. So in 2004, so we're seeing the doer. I can make money. I can do these. I can do these things in questionable situations. You start to see his Neptune coming in, and his determination of knowing how to make money from the Pluto to the Moon. These two factors, the Moon and Taurus having and getting, that's there without always the scruples of Neptune. Okay, might be good intentions, but questionable. His impulsiveness would have questionable reality. It would attract unreliable people. 2004, Viktor Yanukovych, the Prime Minister of Ukraine, he won the vote for the presidency despite the opposition of the U.S. government. They regard him as dangerously pro-Russian. The election caused riots amid accusations of vote rigging. Ukraine's High Court invalidated the result. To rebuild this political-based reputation, Yanukovych turned to Paul Manafort. Over the next 5 years, from 2004 to 2009, he guided him to parliamentary victories and restored him to office of Prime Minister. The State Department and American ambassador criticized him for being supporting an ally of Vladimir Putin. So 2005, where are we here, was from the Saturn square, 2004, 3-4, that square, and then it pushed towards the Saturn return at 2007 and comes to the opposition of the Sun at 2010 or 11. Like with the chart, when you're looking at it, you don't know someone's good or bad. You have to observe if someone's being a kind, dedicated person. Here we're seeing the salesperson, the hustler, the Aries pusher without in questionable situations. Okay, and his Taurus moon, the ability to get money. So the handwritten records show $12.6 million in cash designated for him from 2007 to 2012. It also cites that he exploited his position to secure lucrative business deals, including the establishment of an offshore company that plotted to purchase national cable television. But so he made in those 5 years, like just from this area, 12.7 million. The popular uprising forced Yankovich to flee Russia in 2014. Incredibly, Manafort remained in the country to rally his old supporters and create a new party in opposition to the pro-Western globe. And he actually succeeded. This is so 2014 and over the next few years. So he was very instrumental in working with the pro-Russian, anti-Ukrainian sentiment. He attended a 26th meeting. Oh yeah, in 2016, he became Donald Trump's, right after doing the Russian thing, if he got Yanukovych back in, he became presidential campaign manager for Donald Trump, 2016.